Hey guys, welcome to Scrumptious Unscripted. We're doing a little impromptu thing that may or may not become a thing, but here we are. I'm Kat, that's Pappy. And he went and saw the forest.
Yeah.
And he wants to talk about that.
Yeah.
So.
I would have been better off just going into the woods and staring at a tree.
Ooh.
So, anyhow, one of my side jobs is I'm a film critic for a website called Drunk Monkeys. And I am the guy who deliberately takes on the movies that no one else wants to see because I enjoy writing about good movies just as much as I enjoy writing about really bad movies. Guess where the forest came in?
It was super awesome and everybody should go pay money and see it right now.
No.
Yeah.
So, as we all know from the trailers, Natalie Dormer is looking for her sister in tab over so I don't murder it, Aokigahara Forest, which is also known as Suicide Forest, which is a real place in Japan. People really go there every year to commit suicide, and that's legitimately terrible.
Yes.
But lately, the U.S. has decided that that's a great idea for movies. We've actually had a horror movie called Forest of the Living Dead filmed there.
That happened.
Yeah, what's even funnier and more confusing is that's the U.S. name. It was released as The Forest everywhere else in 2011. And then Gus Van Sant got in on it, calling his movie The Sea of Trees last year with Matthew McConaughey. Not a horror, but still the idea of a man who wants to commit suicide going into the forest. So, obviously, they weren't allowed to film in the actual forest at the base of Mount Fuji. They filmed this movie in Serbia.
Okay.
No, I'm a liar. No, I'm a liar. Siberia. Man.
Yeah, so close there.
But anyhow. They filmed the movie somewhere else, and basically what it is Sarah has an identical twin, also played by Natalie Dormer.
Because budgets.
Yeah. Well, she allegedly took on the role for this movie because they promised her the idea of getting to play two different people. The only problem is she didn't play two different people. She played Natalie Dormer and Natalie Dormer with purple hair. The only difference. I love her as an actress. She's a very good dramatic actress, but it's hard to take her seriously in a horror movie when she goes.
I think we just found the freaking thumbnail for this episode. Yeah. Oh, that was great. I sported my sweatshirt, because I was like, well, I love other things she's in.
She's a great actress, but she's not a scream queen, man. That was my biggest problem. Well, one of my biggest problems with the movies is one. She's not showing any real sense of fear in the film. It's more of a reserved, like, oh, the vapors. Like, that's what I'm getting out of her, Oh, something's jumping out and trying to kill you.
Oh, no.
And she does try some screams and stuff, and I don't know, I feel like there should be a coaching world just for acting in a horror and being convincingly frightened. Then we throw in the further whitewashing of this movie and have the guy who's conveniently runs into her, and because no one's going to help her, In Japan, she's like, I need someone to help me search the forest. And they're like, no. There are spirits, there are oni in the forest. Angry. Hungry. So we're not going in. Fuck you, American lady. I don't blame her.
So some non-Japanese guy comes in and is like, this sounds like a great plan.
Let me get the actor's name so everyone can remember him.
Because nobody knows him to begin with?
No.
No. Just no.
Taylor Kinney. He plays Aiden, who is an American writing for an Australian travel magazine living in Tokyo.
I feel like this film wants you to believe a lot of things.
Yeah. But he does have a friend who's a ranger, and so his ranger friend is conveniently, he's going to the forest tomorrow to look for bodies so we can mark them on a map so that the other rangers can retrieve the bodies and get them to the family or appropriate burial.
That sounds like the shittiest job in Japan.
This is where I apologize. It's Park Ranger Michi, played by. And for a guy who spent 20 years watching anime and Japanese movies, you'd think I'd be better at this, but Yukiyoshi Ozawa.
That didn't sound terrible.
Yay! Well, yeah, that's the movie. The three of them go into the forest looking for Jess, and then weird things happen. What made the movie really bad in my eyes is that they did a reverse audition. They started with a horror with jump scares and turned it into a mystery with jump scares. Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't give me a lot of promise. I should
No.
probably also clarify, like, hi, audience, I didn't go see this movie because if you watched our trailer talk that came out last week, I was all like, F this movie. And, yeah, I didn't spend my money. I let Pappy do it.
But this is why we do Scrumptious Unscripted, so I can mistake Serbia and Siberia and inevitably tick somebody off out there. Sorry.
Our bad.
As a horror movie, I honestly couldn't recommend watching this, even if it came out on FX, with commercial breaks in 3 years.
Oh, wow.
That's how little I respect this movie. There were some really cool ideas and themes. The idea of identical twins being able to sense, that the other one is safe. That was a cool thing. No one believes me, but I know she's alive. That's pretty. But then you just get into this whole, why is she in the forest? Can you trust everyone around you? And I know what they were trying to do. The spirits play with your mind. They try to convince you that things are there that aren't. They convince you that things are good ideas that are bad. But the delivery was really sloppy. And there were so many false starts that by the time they got to the actual, here's what's going on, you're just like, has it been 90 minutes yet?
See, and that's, I'm willing to stick with a movie, and there are plenty of horror movies that I like that are, what would be constituted as like slow burns. But you have to have a payoff.
Yeah. Well, even with a slow burn, you have to build tension. The most damning thing I can say about this movie is about half an hour into it, I seriously contemplated taking a nap in the theater.
Ooh, yeah. But I feel like that's kind of what PG-13 horror has become.
I can't even say that because I volunteered and watched and reviewed Unfriended and The Gallows last year. And Unfriended did a good job of maintaining a pace. It was a terrible movie, but it was at least a well-paced film.
But it was consistent.
Yeah, and with The Gallows built tension. And it gave you a payoff. Not the best payoff, but it gave you a payoff. This movie is just like, it was lost in the woods. That's really the only way to put it. I was trying to figure out some way to put, they couldn't see the forest because of the trees, but whatever. It was a boring movie. First horror film of 2016, nowhere to go but up. Way up. Like, way. We started off down here.
We started off not even in frame. I can't wide shot this enough.
I don't even have a basement, so I can't find where we started.
Nice. Well, yeah, that just it gives me so much disappointment. Which
but
is,
no surprise.
Yeah, no surprise. It's just I had a big rant at Fan Expo with some producers like, be better.
Just because a movie has a good idea doesn't mean you need to greenlight it, because you need a good movie to push that idea forward. And honestly, eventually Japan will make an incredibly uncomfortable to watch, slow burn, grudge style film about the Suicide Forest. And that'll be a good movie. And that'll be really big with the horror fans in the underground. And people are going to be, hey, get it here. Here's the Blu-ray, or find it, and we'll be happy.
Well, if you're looking for something along the same threads of the forest to watch, I would recommend Spider Forest, which is, it's either Japanese or Korean. I've been watching so much just Southeast Asian things lately. That I can't recall correctly, but it is called Spider Forest, and it is kind of the same threads. Like, there's something messed up in this forest, and for circumstances, involving a murder and a mystery, two people have to go out in the forest to try and figure out what's going on, and craziness ensues, but not that rapidly because it is paced out and it does give you a payoff. So, yeah, go watch Spider Force. You can get it on disc with Netflix. Woo!
Yeah, don't go see The Forest. I'll whisper it. Don't see it. Me whispering is scarier than the movie. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, and on that note, we'll see what becomes of this little thing we're trying here. If you're interested in seeing us follow up with more things that we talk about on Trailer Talk and actually,
Talk.
following up and seeing those films and then seeing if we were right or wrong, which we all know who's going to win that game. Yeah. Historically on this channel, I am the queen of the points, sir.
Yeah, but that's TV. I'm better at movie.
Ooh, this is turning into a challenge.
Yeah.
So, we'll see you next time. The grudge match resumes.